Halo maluk sira hau Giovanni ohine hau atu kuliah acara kona ba programa AUTOMOBILISMO GMNTV. Ohine ita hetan visita husi profesional freestyle motorsport. Bain-bainne ami kuliah programa drift atau sport. Maibe ohine ita hatu kuliah programa motorsport. Bom dia mau Anny dia kalai?
Dia Jo. Dia mos. Obrigado.
Mount Anny, bele explica oensa ita bele hili kona ba freestyle motorsport ne?
Dia atu explica itu kono ba hili freestyle motorsport ne. Ya ita mai didek ya nia hobi rasik. Nebe kono ba hili ne hau karak hili ya freestyle motor. Tambah hau hari ya itania rai menus liu si desportu den nebe hau karak koko atu lori itania rai timor naram boing hodi desportu freestyle motor.
Dia tebas Mount. Ita hetan ona desastre ka sidauk?
Kono ba desastre ita la bele hak poda kona tamba aprende desportu den nene desastre ma barak liu ida nyediak.
Oke Mount, favor bele explica kona ba spesifikasi motorne.
Ami perparona motor ia ne atau explica itu kona ba spesifikasi motornya ia desportu freestyle motornya. Firma ita asiste hamodu. Jo. Firma idane anesang spesifikasi motor freestyle-nya. Primeiro nebe mak kita muda uluk mak nia hanesang nia gear ita muda itu ang ida original ita muda itu ang tahu halo bot itu ang atau nene be força bele aumenta makasih itu ang e depois segundo tu irmai ita muda ya area ya trabalhnya idane motor Yamaha Fiction 150 nia standar spesifikasi be motor trabalhnya ne nia la usa cakram nebe ita muda ita usa cakram hotu pois ho ita inventa tang ho trabalho limang idane trabalho limang nebe mak usa ba rem kotuk nia pusi mesin ita usa na fating mesin standar Fiction 150 cc sasang nebe mak kita muda mak hanesang besi ya kotuk original lah hanesang ita muda hansane per ita bele uja odi tahu aingnya pois ho injakan idane ita tengser muda halo fali foam fali ita nia kanu ita troca uja kanu racing mai bela autoriza tu uja estrada bot ita uja batereno nia pois ya area trabalho ita muda itu ang ita usa fali trabalho cakram e ho ia gear ita muda det gear kotuk ho ni korenti ita usa bot itu ho idane ihane ia trabalho wing ia usa standar na fating volanti mak ita muda ihane ita hare nia oenselo kitu ang tangki nia ni tangki ne baku halo hanesane baku belar itu hanesane per sekarik ita atu muda ang mai turi ha tangki atau ture volanti ita bele sadere ha netik nepar ita la bele kuestung mai kotuk ho iha silingnya ita hare hene nia as ituang nepar atu uja banhire te tur hene karik ita la bele kues ba kotuk kono ba mesin se standar nia piston mos standar uja na fating Fiction 150 nia ho sinti makida nedet.
Claro tebes informação ne Twitter maitan ita se ba tasitolu atu assiste show kona ba motorsport freestyle ne. Automobilismo itania hobby perfecto. Halo, malukskira ya Giovanni. You meet me again in the program Automobilismo Itania Hobby Perfecto. We're gonna talk about my private collection of cars, and right behind me I have my 2016 Mustang EcoBoost. Okay, so we're in the front of the Mustang now, and as you can see, I really like this splitter here. It's nice. It follows the body shape of the bumper, and the thing is also I like about this fog lamp. There's actually technically two, because there's one here, and if this one fails, there's another one here. And yeah, overall I love this car. The headlight's amazing. It's like a gun, if you would say, there, and looks super futuristic. Yeah. And if we come up here, the thing I love the most about this car is the hood. As you can see, there's like this line over here that follows up to the roof. And yeah, every single line about this car I love, because as you can see here as a fender, there's also the line here that translates all the way to the back. Now, with the Mustang, as you can technically see, this car is very, very wide. So unlike my Silvia, I don't need to put a wide body on this thing, and unlike other cars that I own, I don't want to put a body kit on this because it looks perfect the way it is. There are some little tiny things like paint damage and everything, but what are you gonna do? It's still perfect. Yeah, and I love this car. And I also repainted the rims. Back then it was silver. I repainted it back to black. And also about this car as well, I just also wanted to say is that when other cars, the brakes are really small, and this is absolutely huge. This is a big brake kit, and it really helps with when I want to stop, like brake and everything like that. So moving on to the car here, yeah, so I'm using Pirelli tires so it does not lose traction on the road. So even though this car can drift, I don't want to drift it because it's just an amazing car and I don't want to break it. And I already put a new exhaust on this car, so they're silent and also loud, which we will test out in a bit. Now also coming to the back here, as you can see, now a lot of people might not know this, but in the American edition of Mustang, the tail lights are red. However, I own the European one because, well, it's the right-hand drive version. So this is white, and I think it looks a lot better. And yeah, also, I have been thinking of taking this out, but at the same time, it still looks really nice like this. But I don't know, maybe you guys can tell me if I should take it out. And yeah, also like unlike my Silvia, I was gonna put a spoiler on my Silvia, but this, I feel like this is the perfect without a spoiler, because it looks like it already has a ducktail over here. And another feature I love about this car, we're going to look at the inside now, is that it unlocks by itself. By a hold of the door handle, it already unlocks. Now coming to the inside here, as you can see, I love this car. It says Mustang over there already. Sorry for a little bit dirty, but yeah. The seats are leather and they're electronic to move up, go up. And yeah, so I think we should start it. So I think we're gonna open the engine bay and we'll start it up later on. Now, the thing I hate about this car is that to open the engine, it's not on the driver's side, it's on the passenger side. So if we go over here, it's on this side to open the hood. Just like that. Okay, so now we're gonna open the hood and show you the engine. Okay, so as you can see, this is not a V8, and the reason why it is not a V8 is because in Timor, the gas cannot handle a V8 engine, so I have to go for the smaller one. As you can see, this engine, it's not the biggest engine. However, this engine produces a lot of power for how small it is. This engine produces 350 horsepower with 400 torque, which is more than enough. And the benefit of having a small engine, as you can see, is that there's a lot of room over here. So it's easier to work on certain parts of the engine in the front. And now this engine as well, it is turbocharged. And I'll show you where the turbo is right here. So right here is where the turbo is. That's what produces the torque that it has. So yeah, and it's a pretty decent sized turbo, and thank God it's never blown up once, because I do use this thing sometimes for drifting, and I'm very thankful it has no problem. So yeah, and yeah, I think that's kind of everything that this engine kind of has to offer. So what I love about this car is that you turn it on over here. You press the engine brake, you press the brake, and there's the engine. Now we're not going to turn it on just yet because I do want to explain everything else in the car. And one thing that I do love about this thing is it's automatic, but it also has paddle shifter, so you can change gears when you're driving like this. Alright, now we're going to turn it on, and I want to show you my exhaust. Okay. And the thing is that I love about this exhaust that I purchased is that this allows me to go silent or go loud. So if I press off, as you can see, the car is now silent. But if I turn it on, you can see. That's the beauty about this exhaust that I purchased, and I absolutely love it. So yeah. And also, as you can see here, unlike other cars, you have your traction control over here and also your indicators over here, so you press this, unlike, you know, over here or something like that, which I find is really awesome. And yeah, this car is extremely comfortable, and yeah, it's amazing, and it's extremely luxury and really good for the price. So yeah, I'm very happy about it. So I think we should go hear the sound. Okay. I think that sounds amazing. I don't know about you guys, but yeah. I'm gonna turn it off now and talk about more what's on the outside. Okay, so now I'm gonna talk about what's underneath the trunk, because there's something really special that's connected to the exhaust in here. So with a click of 2 buttons on the remote, you unlock the trunk. Now, if we look in here, you might see this little box here. Now, this little blue box connects to the muffler, and the muffler will allow it to be quiet or not. So that's why before I got to make the exhaust quiet or not with the remote. And also, I mean, compared for a sports car, this is a lot of room in the trunk. So I do get a lot of my shoppings in here. I put in here. Sometimes I even put my drift tires in here and go to Tasitolo and drift. Now, I did also forgot to say that it's really weird about this car is if we look here in the exhaust, this is just a cover. So the actual exhaust is right there. It's really weird. I don't understand why, but apparently it's been like that since the very first Mustang. It's always been the cover to make the exhaust look bigger. However, it is just that tiny little thing in there. Yeah, also this diffuser. I wish it was carbon fiber. It's not, but I really like the way it looks. It keeps the rocks out of the way from down there. And yeah, over here, as you can see, also there's a little camera. It still works. I love this car. I'm still speechless today that I still own this car. That was my Ford Mustang EcoBoost from 2016. I hope you enjoyed. My name is Giovanni. This is Automobilismo, Itania Hobby, Perfecto. Hi, I'm Giovanni. Welcome back to Automobilismo, Itania Hobby, Perfecto. And right here, as you can see, there is a Subaru STI from 2013. And this, unfortunately, does not belong to me. It belongs to my good friend, Long Jr. And thank you, Long, for giving me the opportunity to actually talk about your car. And I love this car, and I'm really jealous that he got it before me. So, yeah. So right here, that we're gonna go for a little more of detail is this emblem here. As you can see very closely, this is carbon fiber. This is a carbon fiber logo that is colored in blue. Same with the hood, this is carbon fiber, which it makes it more lighter and everything like that. So really nice. And part of the reason why I'm really jealous that he got this car before me is that I love this car. I used to own one, and it's just an amazing car, and especially this car can drift in the gravel. So this car is made for rally. It's all-wheel drive. It cannot drift in asphalt, but it can drift in gravel, and that is the best feeling. And also, I do want to talk about the headlight, because not a lot of people know this, but right here, this thing right here inside the light, that will turn whenever you're using the light. So whenever you're using the steering and turns, this will also follow the direction. So I think that's just really cool. And yeah, this is amazing. And yeah, so this car has a boxer engine. It's turbocharged. It has I think around 350 horsepower with 280 torque. So not as fast as the Mustang, but it is still really good. And yeah, coming from the side here, every single part of this car I love, from the bumper. As you can see, it follows this line up to the fender, and up to the rear as well. It follows that line from the doors. This is a 4-door, but I think that's the most amazing thing about Subaru is that it's a 4-door. It's practical. You can bring your friends in it, and yeah, there's a lot of room. So before we go to the inside and start it up, I do want to talk about what's actually done to the outside. So as you can see in the rims here, this has a gold brake kit, and I love that. You can't really see it because yeah, but that says STI on the side there, and it's just absolutely amazing. I've driven this car before. It drives amazingly. And yeah, every single line here, also like the Mustang, you don't need a wide body kit for this car since it's already really wide. And yeah, coming to the back here, it has the same type of thing in the front where it follows the rear here to the bumper. So another thing that I love about this car is that this car has also had an exhaust change, and this car sounds amazingly. Yeah, so I love this spoiler. In all STIs, they have this amazing spoiler, especially with this new one. This is the newer design. It has this nice flow over here, and I think that's amazing. Also, the diffuser here, it's still really nice. It follows the line there up to here, which is really nice. Also, the tail light, I think this is such a really nice design. It reminds me of like the older Subaru as well. Yeah, it's amazing. Now let's go look at the inside, because this car has a lot done in the inside. Okay, so This car has a lot done inside the interior. As you can see, there are the 3 gauges here. And I'm not too sure what this is, but I think this is the way to tune your car, which is also amazing. And over here, as you can see, there's also like a cover for carbon fiber, which is amazing. But obviously the elephant in the room is the roll cage. Now, I wish I had this for my S15. I have one on order, so I have to wait for that. But yeah, this roll cage is amazing. It really makes you feel like you're in a race car. Okay, so I think we should start it up now and hear the exhaust. So cool with the lights and everything like that. So just right out the get-go, as you can see, we have the turbo, oil pressure and everything like that. And over here we have the tuning and everything from HKS, seeing how everything runs, the piece about the turbo and everything like that. So I'm gonna give it a little bit of revs because it's not my car. So listen quietly. I think that is one of the best sounding cars in my entire life I've ever heard. Because, yeah, Subaru has that type of rumble and like rolls, and it just sounds amazing. So speaking of exhaust, I think we should talk about the engine. Alright, so now up to the engine here. Now I have to open the hood, and people are gonna be surprised this engine still. And yeah, it does hold up, you don't have that little thing. Now, this is the engine for this Subaru. So, what you can kind of see is that's really weird is that this is an intercooler. And like my BMW 1JZ, I have the intercooler in the front, like a normal car. But this car, it has it in the front, which is why in the hood, there's like a scoop to cool down it. And the intercooler is basically to cool down the turbo, like the radiator, but for the turbo. So, what I said before about boxers being really hard to fix, which is why I have so much respect for Long being able to handle this car, is that the pistons for this car is like this, unlike a normal car which should be like this, you know. But yeah, anyway, but I need you guys to hear this sound. This right here, this is a blow off. And as you can hear, that sound, push, that is the turbo. And what that blow up allows it to do is to make that sound go out even more. And I think that's just one of the best sounds ever. So that's why I have it in all of my other cars as well. So yeah. And this car is also running HKS suspension on Spec A. And yeah, it's a good car. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed me talking about this car. It's truly amazing. We're gonna go to Tátika real soon, so stay tuned. This is Automobilismo, Itana Hobby Perfecto.
Oke, dia ba maluk sirna be mak inclui ang ya desporto freestyle motor hamutu ko hau ya fatin dane hau kara katoret bai mi katak desporto freestyle motor memang agora rang ita aprende la fácil maita ita tenen risco maita mai be sekarang ita ya larang kara treino duni ita mos bele hanesang na sam selo hamutu maita hodi promovi tania desporto dane hodi hatudu kata kita timorang mos bele Wahira karakterenu, mai te treino hamutu kena fatin, la bele foris guba maluk sir seluk nebe mak ya liur naba, la bele hite dalang. Sekari atu mai treino kontrolo lu kimne kondisi motor, nebe mak bele mak fuin bele mai treino. Sekari la bele atu mai treino, la bele Obrigado tamba idenemos foris guba itene hang hotu. Nebe mai te hamutu, aprende hamutu kodi itene desporto idene boing hatudu katak itamos bele. Na fatin ya programa automobilismo e tem hobby perfeito.
Oke, magsira hotu ona programa idane hau Giovanni
Anny,
automobilismo idane hobby perfecto.